11 News starts with breaking news.
Good afternoon, everyone. Breaking right now, county police have been called to an investigation in Whitaker.
We're told there are two connected scenes in that neighborhood. Channel 11's Joe Arena is live along Whitaker Way. Joe, what can you tell us at this point?
Yeah, Gordon, this all happened at around 10:30 this morning. I'm going to step out of the way. You can see there is a little bit of police activity inside this convenience store here on Whitaker Street. There have been nothing confirmed, but there were reports of a stabbing here on Whitaker Street at this location, and another location is also being looked into. Apparently, we're working to confirm that through Allegheny County Police. Whitaker police are on scene right now, and just a few minutes ago, Allegheny County Police showed up. They are inside this convenience store talking to people in there, possibly the owner. We have been told by people on scene that there was a stabbing and someone was taken to the hospital. We're going to obviously continue to follow this story as it unfolds throughout the day. Back to you.
All right, thank you, Joe. Severe Weather Team 11 now tracking showers all across the area.
Yeah, you can see all that green in Storm Tracker Doppler 11 radar behind us.
We've been tracking this system for you all morning. Severe Weather Team 11 meteorologist Danielle Dozier live now with what the next few hours are going to look like. Danielle.
Hi, guys. It's cloudy out there, and you can see on our live tower cam the raindrops on the lens. It's 47 degrees. Still have a little bit of a breeze as well. Here's live Storm Tracker Doppler 11 radar. Moderate to heavy rain off to the east of Pittsburgh. This is through Indiana County, Burrell, Avonmore, down toward the Greensburg area and Ligonier. We have some moderate rain. That's going to be pushing off to the east as I put it into motion. Showers in Pittsburgh. You'll need your umbrella here. Washington down toward Wilkinsburg and Uniontown and Morgantown here this afternoon. These scattered showers will persist on and off throughout the rest of the afternoon. I'm going to walk you that hour-by-hour forecast for the rest of your evening. Plus, we'll look ahead to what Tuesday will bring when I see you back here for my Severe Weather Team 11 forecast.
All right, thanks, Danielle. New at noon, all this rain has caused another landslide in Pittsburgh's West End neighborhood. Channel 11's Mike Holden is live along Noblestown Road. And, Mike, neighbors you spoke to are worried about this.
Gordon, good afternoon to you. Yeah, they said it right there. They're extremely concerned, but we do want to point this out to all drivers who are coming through this area. You're initially going to spot a flagger right here with the stop sign warning you that there is ongoing work. And when I talk about ongoing work, it's this landslide happening right here just past my shoulder. You can see crews are digging away at this hillside, trying to remove the mud and the excess debris. There's also cars coming in the opposite direction, so there is a minor single-lane restriction, but we're being told this work will be ongoing throughout the course of this day. Now, mud, rocks, and some tree branches are resting on Noblestown Road. They came tumbling down from West End Park Drive following the West End's latest landslide. The wintry mix over this past weekend, now changing to nonstop rain, is said to be blamed for this big problem. Channel 11 watched from a distance as crews documented the damage and worked to keep drivers out of the way. Now, this isn't the first time they've been called out to this area, because roughly 2 weeks ago, crews worked to stabilize another landslide that brought down trees and power lines from Noblestown all the way down to Wabash Street below. Folks who live here say they hope there is a permanent fix, and they admit when it rains, they feel a little uneasy.
It all looks like it's going to fall down there. The whole hill down there looks like it's going to fall.
I don't know what they're going to do. How do you solve the problem? I mean, it's a whole hillside's coming down. And if it's not from one side of the road, it's the other side of the road.
Okay, so a lot of questions coming right there from the folks who live here, who are witnessing this ongoing repair effort. The big question is, well, what happens next? We're going to continue to check in with these crews who are trying to tear away at that hillside and stabilize the space. And coming up on Channel 11 News at 5, we're talking to more neighbors, how they're getting around it, plus their recommendation to folks not familiar with this area. That's all starting at 5. Reporting live from Pittsburgh's West End, Mike Holden, Channel 11 News.
Thanks, Mike. Happening now, students in the Ringgold School District are home from school again today because of a threat. The district decided yesterday to cancel classes after receiving safe to say something tips over the weekend. Classes were also canceled by this on Friday, and the snow, of course. 6 students are under investigation after police learned of a shooting threat at the middle school.
I really do think it's probably a couple students doing it, but I think that they're taking all the right steps to keep the kids safe, and they have a really good security at the school too. So I think the school district's handling it well.
School officials have not said what type of threat was made. Today is going to be used as a flexible instruction day.
New at noon, 4 young people were detained for pointing what looked like a gun at a security guard. This happened last night in downtown Pittsburgh. The security guard told police that one of them pulled a gun on him but did not demand anything. All 4 of them tried to run off, but they were caught and detained. Police say it turned out to be a BB gun. It's not clear if any of them will face charges.
Heartbreaking news out of Belts Hoover. A 3-year-old girl was shot and killed after a night of watching movies in bed. Channel 11's Liz Kilmer joins us live now. And Liz, police say the man in custody admitted this was his fault.
Yeah, Peggy, a lot of questions remain here surrounding what was an absolutely horrific situation that left a 3-year-old girl dead. But police say they do know who shot her and that he's behind bars here after allegedly confessing and telling investigators that this was his fault. Now, that man is 51-year-old Marlon Pritchard of Belts Hoover, arrested at his home there on East Warrington Avenue early yesterday morning. Police were called to the duplex and discovered 3-year-old Chastity Clancy lifeless in a bedroom. Pritchard told officers that she and another child had been watching movies and lying on a bed. He went to lie down there too, falling asleep with a gun beneath his pillow, which he told officers he had been doing recently because he feared people were after him. He claimed he woke up to a bang and saw blood. Now, this is a tragedy impacting so many in the community. It's why a local organization called Steel Smiling is offering free grief support tomorrow night from 5:30 to 8 at the McKinley Park Shelter House. Now, that park not far from the home where this happened. We did return there today in hopes of learning more, but no one came to the door. Police have not indicated exactly what the relationship was between the gunman and the victim, but of course we are working to learn more. We have another crew following this, and we'll have the very latest for you tonight at 5. Live from the Allegheny County Jail, I'm Liz Kilmer, Channel 11 News.
A woman was rushed to the hospital after she lost control of her pickup in Marshall Township. She was heading south near the Thornhill Industrial Park this morning when police say she overcorrected the steering wheel and flipped her truck on its side. No other cars were involved. The woman was treated for cuts, bruises, and an arm injury.
In the last 90 minutes, the prosecution rested its case in the trial of a man charged in the horrific mass shooting in Wilkinsburg. Police say Sharon Shelton killed 5 people and an unborn baby at a cookout in 2016. After testimony wrapped up Friday, Shelton's attorney said a witness came forward claiming he was paid by investigators to make up information about the suspect. Shelton's attorneys asked the judge to declare a mistrial or hold a separate hearing on the new allegations, but the judge denied both requests. After the prosecution rested this morning, the defense asked the judge to dismiss the case, saying the Commonwealth did not reach its burden of proof. The judge denied that motion. Look for the breaking updates on WPXI's news app and tonight, starting at 5.
It is the day before the first primary in the nation, and candidates are hitting the ground hard in New Hampshire, hoping to sway undecided voters. A new poll is out showing one candidate making a big jump. NBC's Alice Barr is in Manchester with the latest on a race that's heating up.
In the final hours before the first in the nation primary, a shifting picture in New Hampshire. A new poll from the Boston Globe shows Bernie Sanders pulling ahead of Pete Buttigieg in second place and Amy Klobuchar surging into third after a strong debate performance.
After that debate, something switched, and we'd done a lot of hard work to get there, but it just allowed the people of New Hampshire to see me in a different way.
Joe Biden and Elizabeth Warren close behind in a make-or-break contest.
This is just getting started, and I've said that from the very, very beginning, and I feel confident about where we are.
Dream big, fight hard, and win.
While some push to make up ground, frontrunners are aiming to build momentum with a clean win after the contentious results from the Iowa caucus. Just last night, the Iowa Democratic Party officially gave Buttigieg the highest delegate count, but Sanders plans to contest a few precincts.
This is, I think, what winning feels like.
We have an unprecedented grassroots movement
which is what you need to defeat Trump.
Candidates crisscrossing the state today to sway undecided voters in an up-close and personal contest. This mother and son taking it all in as political tourists.
You bump into, as you know, up here, candidates on the street or in diners like this one. So I don't think there's any place else in the country where you can get as close to the candidates.
And with the candidates running close together, both in polls and proximity, anything can happen when voting begins tomorrow. Alice Barr, NBC News, Manchester, New Hampshire.
Meanwhile, the campaign for Senator Bernie Sanders is asking for a partial recanvass of the results of the Iowa caucuses. Now, a recanvass isn't a recount, it's just a check of the vote count to make sure the results were added correctly. State party results show Pete Buttigieg leading Sanders by only 2 delegates.
A team of doctors and researchers from the World Health Organization is heading to China to help with the coronavirus outbreak as the death toll continues to rise. At least 908 people have died as of today. That is more than from the SARS outbreak in 2003. More than 40,000 have gotten sick. Most of the cases are in China, but there are 12 confirmed cases in the U.S. Meanwhile, there are at least 65 new cases on the Diamond Princess cruise ship. Passengers there were already under quarantine where the boat is docked near Japan. There are now 135 people infected on board. Some people have been taken to hospitals, but thousands are still on the ship under lockdown. That quarantine is set to lift next week.
New at noon, a leaking roof has caused a local convenience store to shut down. The health department closed the Unimart in Portview last week. It says the roof was leaking throughout the store, including into the walk-in cooler and onto food. We're told the fire department was called in and declared that situation unsafe. Another warning about forever chemicals. Why a new report is urging you to cook more meals at home.
And too close for comfort, why a pair of local churches moved their services this weekend.
I'm still tracking rain across our area. I'll let you know when it comes to an end, what you can expect when you're heading out later this evening.
You're streaming WPXI now, your source for original local shows. Get the inside scoop on all the hot events, entertainment, and celebrities in and around Pittsburgh every week. Stream Access Pittsburgh on demand anytime on WPXI.
She's an 18-year-old girl. She got a settlement. You saw a little money. You wanted a big red truck.
Like Judge Judy.
Shiny, shiny, shiny red truck.
Judge Judy, weekdays at 4 and 4:30 on Channel 11. The 7-day forecast, now on your screen all the time on Channel 11 News.
Two churches in New Kensington are taking extra precautions after two undercover officers were shot at last week in their community. Our partners at the Trib learned that St. Joseph and St. Mary moved their services to be on the safe side. The Wednesday evening Mass has been moved from St. Joseph to St. Mary, and the noon Mass on Friday has been moved from St. Mary to St. Joseph's. St. Joseph is just down the street from where the shooting happened on Kenneth Avenue last Tuesday. Police say the officers who were shot at were working undercover at the time. They were not hit, but bullets shattered the window of the minivan they were in. Two men were arrested the next day. Church officials say they haven't decided when the service locations will be changed back and say they may be permanent.
Panic inside a Pennsylvania Walmart when a group yelled "active shooter." This morning, police in Bucks County are looking for at least 4 men who caused the panic. Witnesses told investigators the men screamed "active shooter, gun," and "get down on the ground." Many shoppers panicked and rushed out of the store. The men were seen laughing as they left the store. If caught and convicted, each of them could face up to 7 years in prison.
More details now on Forever Chemicals. Channel 11 has been telling you about the substances, also known as PFAS, which are linked to some serious health problems. And a new study found they may be more common than experts previously thought. ABC's Carolyn Bruck tells us why you may want to skip the takeout and cook at home tonight.
Like many moms, Jana Wall sees a home-cooked dinner as a chance to see exactly what her kids are eating.
I make them something that's fresh, organic, has no additives, colors, there's a vegetable, there's something green.
And now Jana has one more reason to cook at home. A new study found eating out and getting food to go may expose you to a group of toxic chemicals called per- and polyfluoroalkyl substances, or PFAS for short.
PFAS are what's known as forever chemicals, and that's because they essentially never break down naturally. So once they're made, they just accumulate in the environment, they end up in our water supply, they end up in our food, and they end up in us.
At high exposure, some PFAS chemicals have been linked to some serious health problems, including an increased risk of cancer, obesity, high cholesterol, thyroid disease, and growth and learning delays in some babies and children. PFAS chemicals are everywhere. You'll find them in the surfaces of some nonstick pans, in the lining of typical takeout containers and pizza boxes. They're used to keep grease from seeping through.
So we don't know how much of our individual exposure comes from food packaging exactly. But what this study did show is that people who cooked at home more had lower levels of PFAS in their blood than people that ate out more frequently.
Kevin Loria at Consumer Reports says there are several things you can do to limit your exposure, starting with more fresh food. And when you do go out to eat or bring food in, it's worth simply getting the food out of the to-go boxes right away. Also, don't store or reheat the food in the containers they came in.
Dozens of local couples are still trying to figure out where to have their wedding after Noah's Event Center closed without warning. The company has event centers in Cranberry Township and Canonsburg. Since we aired the story on Friday, more than 30 venues reached out to Channel 11 offering to help.
We'll either offer them an incentive or a discount. We'll do that either on Fridays or even available Saturday nights. And then I think even more importantly, if we don't have space, we will assist them. We have many partners throughout this area that we work with.
And you can find a full list of venues offering to help on the WPXI News app.
A Pittsburgh-based software developer has teamed up with the new XFL Football League. Yinscam has developed the league's official app. It's now up for grabs on iOS and Android devices. Yinscam was founded at CMU 10 years ago. It's one of the first clients for the Penguins. Fans could pick camera angles inside the old Mellon Arena so they could get better views of the plays on the app. Well, now it's used by the majority of NFL and NBA teams.
Your severe weather Team 11 forecast.
Good afternoon. We're taking a live look at Storm Tracker Doppler 11 radar. We're still tracking rain through Pittsburgh and Allegheny County. If you're up around Cranberry, you're seeing the rain. Beaver, still seeing very light rain there. Moderate to heavy rain, though, still falling in eastern Westmoreland County, parts of Indiana County there. And this is going to continue to move off toward the east as we head through the day today. It's all a part of a really large weather system that's been bringing the threat for flooding down to the south. You can see it there with all of the green. and we're going to continue with scattered showers through the remainder of the day. The steadiest pushing out right now, but some lingering showers here and there on this National Umbrella Day, so you're going to need your umbrella when you head out, as we have a cold front that's back off toward the northwest that's going to be headed our way here before too long. So our travel impacts for this afternoon: wet roads, a little ponding on the roads as well. Not really expecting widespread flooding though for today, but some pockets of heavier rain here and there. Temperatures are in the mid to upper 40s right now. It's 46 in Greensburg, 47 in Pittsburgh, and 45 out in the Beaver area. That cold front, like I said, is back off to the northwest of Pittsburgh, and it will be headed our way within the next couple of hours. That's going to shift the winds around from the southwest to the northwest. If you pay attention to flags out there, you're going to know when that cold front moves through. So the temperatures will hold steady for the next hour or so, and then gradually fall throughout the day, but not a sharply cold front by any means. This is a look at our wind speed right now. We've had some pretty strong winds last night and this morning. The wind right now is 12 in Pittsburgh, 14 in Greensburg. Those winds will continue to lighten up through the rest of the day today. Those winds right around 5 to 10 miles per hour. So the temperature this afternoon holding steady at around 47, then falling slightly through the rest of the day. Here's Storm Tracker at 2:30. Some scattered showers still about the area for your drive home. Again, a couple of showers very well possible. We'll carry that threat into the early evening before the rain begins to shift toward the southeast. So overnight tonight, best chance for rain will be south and east of the city. And that theme will actually continue into early Tuesday morning, where it could mix briefly with a little bit of snow through those higher elevations early Tuesday morning. Aside from that, it's going to be cloudy across the bulk of the area for the day tomorrow. Temperatures will be once again climbing into the 40s. Not quite as mild as today. High of about 42 degrees with a north-northwest wind expected at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Here's a check of the 5-day forecast. Your weekend always in view coming up here in a second. For Wednesday, cloudy, some rain, some snow moving in as we head into the evening time frame with that high of 41. Thursday is going to be bringing a chance for some rain and some snow showers. Snow showers more prominent north and in the ridges toward the evening on Thursday. That's because Thursday is going to bring in some sharply colder air. Look at the low by Thursday night, 14. Your Valentine's Day is 22, and Saturday is 37 degrees. Coming up in the next half hour, I'm going to explain what is causing this Arctic air mass to move in, and we'll also have a hour-by-hour look, little heads up on your Valentine's Day forecast.
A new record just set for the fastest flight across the Atlantic Ocean.
Why experts say weather may have helped speed the plane along.
Just a little bit. And the desperate lengths a man went to get away after police say he robbed a local gas station.
Snow falls, we use the area's most powerful tools to keep you prepared.
The most extensive school closings, always scrolling.
I'm tracking snow where you live.
And our traffic trackers show you live conditions. I'm bringing you urgent updates from the breaking news desk.
Count on 11 Alert on Channel 11 Morning News.
Whether the weather is good or whether the weather is bad, count on Armstrong support and service all throughout the year.
6.
Followed by NBC Nightly News at 6:30.
Developing right now, police are looking for the man behind a violent robbery in Oakland. Witnesses say the robber was trapped in the Sunoco when the clerk electronically locked the door. So he broke the window to get out. You can see that window boarded up. This all happened last Thursday. Police say the man jumped over the counter and attacked the clerk before grabbing the cash.
3 officials with the Mutual Aid Ambulance Service in Westmoreland County are off the job. According to our trip partners, Chief Executive Joseph Yanchawas, Operations Director William Groft, and Business Office Manager Teresa Straka were all let go Thursday, and the company did not give a reason for their dismissal.
2 state senators are calling for quick action on a bill to keep violent inmates in prison longer. It's called Markey's Law. It's named after 8-year-old Mark Mason. Police say he was stabbed to death by his mother's boyfriend, Keith Burley, last year in Newcastle. Burley had just been released from prison after serving a 20-year sentence. But while in prison, Burley was convicted of assault, but no time was added to his sentence.
After more than 40 years, the general manager of Kennywood is stepping down. The park didn't say why Jerome Gibbous is leaving, but said his service and leadership are greatly valued. This morning, a nationwide search is underway to find his replacement.
British Airways just broke a record. It carried the fastest commercial plane between New York and London. The Boeing 747 carrier reached its top speed of more than 800 miles per hour, getting to its destination in just under 5 hours. The average flight time is more than 6 hours. Experts say heavy winds helped the plane go even faster than normal.
Heartache, but hope for the family of a little girl who was abducted and murdered.
This is something that I think could have been prevented.
The changes they want made as soon as possible to make sure every second counts.
Plus, another live update on the radar where the heaviest is falling, and we're also going to be tracking when Arctic air moves in the 5-day forecast.
You're streaming WPXI now, your source for original local shows. Corruption, fraud, scandal. Veteran reporter Brian Ross shines a light on accused criminals. Brian Ross Investigates, Friday at 9 p.m. right here on WPXI.
11 covers weather everywhere you live.
And we have the experience to get it right. We know the unique weather patterns across our neighborhood.
It's why it can be snowing in Beaver County,
while it's dry in Westmoreland County.
Weather coverage you can count on.
Watch The Wendy Williams Show, weekdays at 11 on Channel 11.
So you'll want to grab the rain gear before you head out this afternoon, something I did not do when I left
You
home.
can borrow mine on the way home. Severe Weather Team 11 meteorologist Danielle Dozier is live timing out these showers. Danielle?
Oh, Peggy, I don't know.
I don't know
sorry.
I'm too embarrassed to tell you.
Well, you just admitted it to me. And Jenny, our director, just said she didn't bring hers either in my ear. Storm tracker Doppler 11 radar right now. You can see this widespread rain across the region. And Pittsburgh still seeing some light rain in the vicinity. It's falling throughout Allegheny County. Some of the more moderate to heavy rain pushing now through Indiana County, eastern Armstrong County. Also have some pretty steady rain down in Uniontown, Morgantown area. Zooming in here again, just around Indiana and points to the east. This pocket of a yellow and red shaded color is where we have it really coming down, and still very light rain. Hey, look at this. This is pretty cool. This is a green line that you're seeing show up, and I'm just noticing this. This is actually the radar picking up on the cold front that is moving our way, and pretty neat to see that show up with the wind coming through. That's a wind shift line. That's something else the Doppler radar is picking up on, and it shows up as this green thin line. So the winds behind Beaver area out of the northwest. Meanwhile, the winds out ahead of Beaver right now coming in out of the southwest. So that cold front will continue our way. Temperatures will fall steadily throughout the rest of the afternoon, and we'll actually keep a few showers around in the forecast as well. Now, I am going to be tracking some Arctic air coming in later this week. I wanted to show you what's causing it. We've got a big dip in the jet stream that's headed our way. So the Arctic air that's been bottled up well to the north is going to be spilling all the way down into the lower 48. So coming up here in about 15 minutes or so, I'm going to walk you through that forecast for the rest of the week, just how cold it's going to be getting, and an hour-by-hour look at your early Valentine's Day forecast still to come.
A man is in jail today accused of killing a friend who was trying to break up a fight. Dante King is charged with homicide. According to police, King was arguing with his mother Saturday at a home along Palmer Lane in West Mifflin when they both pulled out handguns. Anthony Orozco tried to intervene but was shot when he tried to take the gun from King. 2 people are recovering after a crash with a Port Authority bus, and we're getting a look today at the man who's facing charges. Police sent us this mugshot of Jeffrey Frond. He's charged with DUI. Investigators say Frond pulled into the path of a bus Thursday night in Carrick. 2 people were hurt. Police say Frond left his truck at the scene and went to a bar where he was later found.
A local councilman is fed up with door-to-door salespeople. Councilman Joe Grillo of Lower Burrell wants to stop solicitors on Sundays. He told our trip partners no one wants someone banging on their door on the weekend. Other council members suggest limiting their hours. A new report says President Trump's proposed budget won't get rid of the federal deficit anytime soon. Today, the White House is unveiling its plan for fiscal year 2021. And according to the Washington Post, the $4.8 trillion budget would not close the deficit until 2035. President Trump is hoping to cut spending on foreign aid and social programs, but increase funding to counter economic threats.
It is our state's most important tool in finding missing children. And is it broken is the question. You might remember hours after a person of interest was arrested in the abduction of little Nalani Johnson, an Amber Alert was sent to our smartphones. 11 Investigates' Amy Hudak spoke with Nalani's family and the changes they want to see that may have saved that little girl's life.
Jump. She didn't have a voice. She couldn't act on her own. You know, she was at the mercy of an evil person.
We know the ending. The FBI is searching a local park for little Nalani Johnson.
We know the first 3 hours are critical. If you don't get to the child in the first 3 hours, it's very likely something very bad is going to happen to them, like what happened with Nalani.
Then the heartbreaking headline.
That's what we all feared. Our law enforcement sources are telling us Nalani Johnson's body has been found.
On the eve of her 2nd birthday, Nalani Johnson was abducted and murdered, allegedly at the hands of her father's girlfriend, Sharina Nancy. Nalani's body was found in an Indiana County park, still strapped into her car seat.
This is something that I think could have been prevented.
The toddler's grandmother, Taji Walsh, says this doesn't need to be the ending for another child.
I don't want her death to be in vain.
Together, she and lawyer and former federal prosecutor Eric Chafin drafted an amendment in hopes of changing the current Amber Alert law. It's called the Nalani Johnson rule. To understand how it works, we need to understand what failed in Nalani's case. 5 p.m. August 31st, Nalani Johnson's father calls Penn Hills police, reporting his daughter was abducted by Sharina Nancy. 5:23 p.m. Police say Nancy is seen on surveillance video at a Sheetz on Route 22 in Murraysville. 6 p.m. Police place Sharina Nancy about a mile from the crime scene where Nalani's body would be found days later. 7:30 p.m. Police pull over Nancy in Penn Hills and take her into custody. Nalani and her car seat are gone. 7:35 p.m. 2.5 hours after Nalani Johnson was abducted, after the suspect was taken into custody, and after the toddler was murdered, our TV station gets an Amber Alert. 8:10 p.m. An Amber Alert is blasted across cell phones.
Over 2.5 hours, for this to come out, there was a fighting chance for Nalani had it came out sooner.
It's failing the children like Nalani, those car seat children, those kids that are completely helpless at the mercy of a stranger and acquaintance.
In cases like Nalani's, cases that are roughly 1 in 1,000 where a child is abducted by somebody who's not a family member, Chafin says 2 procedures must change: the verification system and direct reporting by state police. Chafin says local police departments shouldn't wait to verify every detail a parent reports. He says the necessary information needs to be handed over to state police immediately so an Amber Alert can be activated.
You had a father with a witness identifying the vehicle, the person, and the child has been abducted, and there's no action. Instead, there was a long period of time to verify, well, is the father telling me accurate information? Is this really, what's the relationship? Asking questions that really weren't pertinent to actually just get the alert out.
Chafin says within 10 to 15 minutes of Nalani's abduction, the Amber Alert process should have been started. Timing is critical, there's no doubt about that, but there are certain criteria police need to meet before state police can issue the Amber Alert. We asked Penn Hills police to be a part of our story, but they declined. Walsh and Chafin are now working directly with local leaders and elected officials to change the law at a state level.
They have to sit down and look at this and see that the things of the past aren't working for at least this population of kids who are abducted. Focus on the kids who are, stuck in those car seats and they can't unbuckle that car seat and get out and ask for help. In the end, something big will happen from this, and Nalani's name will carry on and save other people.
To read the timeline of Nalani Johnson's abduction and murder and to see the amendment Eric Chafin drafted to change the current Amber Alert law, head to WPXI.com. Amy Hudak, Channel 11 News.
As a parent, I'd be furious.
Only on 11, you won't believe who she was talking to when police say her classmate pulled out a lighter.
Plus, costly damage to a dump truck in Pittsburgh. The love triangle police say led to this crime.
You put on Channel 11 Morning News. There is a team that has been working all night to get you the news you need.
The news doesn't stop. We don't stop.
I know you have a busy morning. I'm a mom, too, and you're doing 1,000 different things.
We want to make sure you know everything you need to know to get prepared for your day as you head out the door.
You're going to get weather and traffic every 10 minutes. Jennifer is going to tell you the breaking news as it's happening.
We're not repeating the same stories over and over. We're digging for those new details.
You can be assured that you're going to get all the information you need before.
by like Judge Judy.
A jealous ex accused of setting fire to this dump truck. It happened on Lyric Street in Pittsburgh's Lincoln-Leamington-Belmar neighborhood. A witness told police Terry Washington set the fire because he thought his ex was having an affair with the owner of the truck. That fire caused $2,500 in damage.
Neighbors in Erie have concerns about the site of a former daycare center where 5 children died in a fire. They say the house looks like a blighted property with glass and other debris blowing into their yards. Neighbors say they'd like to see a memorial or garden on the site. The victims of the August fire range in age from 8 months to 7 years. And officials are closer to making sure this doesn't happen ever again. Last week, 2 bills were approved by state Senate committees. One would require annual health department inspections to include checks for smoke detectors. And the second bill would require all smoke detectors in a home to be connected. The home in Erie had a smoke detector, but it was up in the attic.
This is a shocking story. A Pennsylvania man has been arrested for allegedly beating his girlfriend to death and ordering an Uber to take her to the hospital. Nicholas Foreman was arrested last week near Philadelphia. He is charged with murder. Police say Foreman put Sabrina Harouni's injured body in an Uber. Harouni was pronounced dead at the hospital. She and Foreman got into an argument after Harouni received text messages from her ex-boyfriend. Foreman denies the accusations, saying Harouni had been attacked by a group of women. A local student facing serious charges. The bizarre thing police say he did to a classmate that left her with second-degree burns.
Plus, I'm tracking that rain and moving through the area, and even more rain to come later this week. I'll let you know when some heavy rain will fall across the area.
Snow falls, 11 alert keeps you prepared.
The most extensive school closings, always scrolling.
Snow totals where you live.
And live conditions on the roads you travel. Plus urgent updates from the breaking news desk.
Watch Channel 11.
NBC Nightly News with Lester Holt.
We're a team you can count on to cover stories that impact your life.
Whether it's across the street or around the world.
Channel 11 News at 6.
And NBC Nightly News at 6:30.
Watch Catherine Amenta and Gordon Lesh on Channel 11 Morning News.
Breaking right now, county police say that one man stabbed another at a Whitaker convenience store.
And that attacker is still on the run. Channel 11's Joe Arena is live with that breaking information from police. Joe?
Yeah, Gordon, we just spoke to an employee in the office or in the convenience store behind me who told us how this whole thing played out. At least that's what he's telling us. It all happened right at this spot, actually, as you see right here in front of the store. The employee tells us that a convenience store owner, the owner of the convenience store, came outside, approached the truck where this suspect was in. They got into some kind of a... And in the truck, at some point during the argument, slashed the owner of the convenience shop in the head and neck. This all happened about 2 hours ago. The victim, the owner of the store, was taken to a local hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. And we're back out live here in front of the store. Just a short time ago, Allegheny County homicide detectives were on scene along with Whitaker police. They've since left the scene. Once again, though, that suspect, according to police, is still on the loose. And we are working to learn more details about that, as well as the condition of this store owner who apparently suffered non-life-threatening injuries but was stabbed in the neck and head. We'll have much more as this continues to unfold throughout the day. Live right now in Whitaker, Joe Arena, Channel 11 News.
She got second-degree burns all over her leg in school.
That's crazy.
Only on 11, a high school student was seriously burned at school. She says a classmate lit her pants on fire for no reason.
Channel 11's Rick Earl learned that classmate now faces a long list of charges.
Target 11 has learned that a student here at Perry Traditional Academy was left with second-degree burns on her leg when another student allegedly set her jeans on fire.
It's scary. It's scary. I don't even know. My heart goes out to the family.
18-year-old Andre Allen of Northview Heights is now facing aggravated assault, reckless endangerment, and arson charges. According to the criminal complaint, Allen had a lighter, was walking down the hallway. The student was talking to an assistant principal, and police say Allen bent down, lit the pants on fire, and the principal and the student had to put it out.
As a parent, yeah, I'd be furious. I mean, that's crazy. In a school environment, I don't know what to say. I mean, just what's he doing in school with a lighter?
School police say Allen lit the student's frayed jeans on her right knee. She was treated for second-degree burns on that knee. We reached out to the district, but they only told us, quote, "We are unable to share information related to an ongoing investigation involving a student." School police also say the incident was caught on the school security camera, and police have now entered that as evidence in this case. Rick Earl, Channel 11 News.
It is unclear if Allen is still in school. We do know he will face a preliminary hearing.
Facebook's own account was hacked last week. The hacking group called Our Mine posted an image on Facebook's Twitter and Instagram saying, quote, "Hi, we are Our Mine." Well, even Facebook is hackable, but at least their security is better than Twitter. Facebook said it has since secured and restored access. Our Mine has hacked HBO, the NFL, and the New York Times in the past. The company made infamous by Barbie is struggling after Toys R Us went out of business. Mattel is shutting down factories in Asia and Canada to cut costs. The toy maker has also been struggling with weak sales. A British Airways plane couldn't land yesterday because of hurricane-force winds. You can see the plane here struggling to touch down. It finally made contact and then took off again. The plane was able to land safely the second time around. Winter storm Sierra battered the UK with strong winds and rain, disrupting travel and closing down ports.
Your severe weather Team 11 forecast.
Yeah, there were some pretty incredible jet stream winds that allowed that British Airways flight as well that we were talking about earlier from New York City to London in less than 5 hours. That jet stream was clocking over 230 miles per hour, so that's a good tailwind there for that flight. Here's a look at our local weather. Storm Tracker Doppler 11 radar. We've got some rain that's ongoing still off to the east of us in some pockets of more moderate to heavy rain through Fayette County. Also still some scattered showers throughout Allegheny County. There's that green line I've been talking about. That is the cold front that is moving through. The Doppler radar picks it up as a wind shift line. So basically our winds here ahead of the front where this line is, so ahead of that north are coming in out of the southwest, that is, and then if you're north of the front, those winds are coming in out of the northwest. So that's what the radar sees. And we're also detecting some drizzle around Pittsburgh, which is limiting visibility. So we've got a 2.5 mile visibility in Pittsburgh, and we've got reduced visibility across a good part of the area due to either some rain, drizzle, fog. So Butler, 1.7 miles, 2 mile visibility in Beaver. Good visibility is 10 miles, which is what we have in Washington right now. So plan on that if you are traveling, and reduce your speed, and of course use your headlights. Visible satellite shows the thick cloud cover also across our area today that's going to be pretty stubborn. Temperatures are in the low to middle 40s from Beaver into Butler. It's 47 in Pittsburgh. This temperature will gradually fall throughout the rest of the day as that cold front moves through. Here's your temperature forecast hour by by hour. Later this evening around 7 o'clock, low 40s through 9 p.m. as well. Upper 30s at 11, so we'll need the coats. And I would carry your umbrella with you because we're going to continue to track that threat for some scattered showers throughout the rest of the early evening hours. So here's a look at the forecast as we head toward tonight. Winds are going to be much lighter here today. This afternoon, calming down to 3 to 8 overnight, 34 degrees when you head out the door tomorrow morning. Here's Storm Tracker at 3 o'clock this afternoon. Again, scattered showers are still possible. So, again, the rain gear in order. Here's 7 o'clock. Still a few lingering showers around. As we head toward the late night hours, the threat will mainly push toward the south and east of the city, and that's where we'll carry that chance into early Tuesday, where it may mix with a little snow in the higher elevations, but the best chance for rain on Tuesday will be south and east of the Pittsburgh area. It'll still be a rather cloudy, kind of gloomy day, it appears, on Tuesday, and then our next round of rain moves in midweek. Here's a look at a series of low-pressure systems coming in for late Wednesday and Thursday, where we're going to have bouts of heavy rain coming up through the area, and then where it's cold enough, they're getting the snow and or a wintry mix. This is an early look at one of our weather models showing the potential for 1 inch to 2 inches of rain from Wednesday into Thursday afternoon. So 1 p.m. Thursday, where we could be dealing with some flooding issues, something to track very carefully later on in the week. As promised, an early look at your Valentine's Day forecast. I know a lot of us probably have plans to head out. It is going to be turning much colder. Arctic air will be invading the area, so our high on Friday only at 22 degrees. And we're going to be partly sunny throughout the day, it looks like, with a chance for a few flurries lingering around the area. 5-day forecast, and here's the kind of ups and downs. A wet week ahead. Falling temperatures Thursday. We're down in the teens and near 12 degrees by Friday night. And Saturday looks good with a high of 37.
Pittsburgh was represented at the Oscars last night. Check out this photo tweeted by Pittsburgh's own Joe Manganiello. He snapped the photo with Pittsburgh stars Jeff Goldblum and Michael Keaton at an Oscar after party. You can see the caption. You can take the boys out of Pittsburgh, ... But, of course, you can't take the Pittsburgh out of the boys.
Love it. A Butler County mom is helping keep kids comfy during a time that might feel exactly the opposite. Leah Cairns started a drive to collect fuzzy socks for kids at Children's Hospital. She enlisted businesses and schools like Connequanessing Valley Elementary School. And Cairns feels that the kids who have to spend any amount of time there, she wants them to have something soft to make them feel better.
The children have brought in so many socks to help their peers as well. It's been so exciting, and the community is what made this drive possible. They just needed a vehicle to get there.
Karen says that she will be donating more than 1,000 socks later this month. And Leah Cairns and the students of Connequanessing Valley Elementary make us proud to be from Pittsburgh.
Great work there. A father dancing his way through stress.
He's doing it every day until he reaches his goal.
You've been through it. You can't put in words how hard it is.
The agonizing fight his family is working through.
I just got back from the set of Jeopardy, where I had a rare opportunity to sit down one-on-one with Alex Trebek. It's an interview I can't wait to bring you. Alex shares details about his health, and we take you behind the scenes of the show.
I had no idea that Jeopardy would become as popular as it is.
Hear his favorite thing about Pittsburgh.
It's beautiful, it's spectacular.
And his message to local fans. Join me tonight at 5 and 11 on Channel 11 News.
weather.
Count on Channel 11 Morning News.
And that's all for Channel 11 News at noon.
Our next newscast is tonight at 5. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.
An empty field transformed into an inspiring place of hope. A local Girl Scout group created this Serenity Garden full of positive messages and resources to help with suicide awareness.
Somewhere for kids to go so they could be uplifted.
Filling our community with messages of hope makes us